Hello everyone, welcome back to the Stitching Cafe. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pork and potato skillet. And this is a naturally gluten-free recipe unless you add the wrong thickener. So make sure you do the right thickener in this. I'm going to start out with 2 pounds of cubed pork here. And I'm going to put this into a hot skillet with a little bit of oil on the bottom. Hopefully this isn't too hot. So I'm going to let this get nice and brown on each side. I'm going to add a little bit of butter, just a little bit here and there for the flavoring. That's probably 1 tablespoon, and I just made it into little tiny cubes. Okay, this is looking really good. I like how it's starting to brown now. I'm going to switch to a slotted spoon. So now that we're done with the meat, we are going to take a slotted spoon and we're going to put this in a separate bowl to keep warm. This may look weird, but it works great. I have this metal cake pan actually that I use to keep meats warm a lot, because I have a lid that fits on it perfectly. Otherwise, it's just going in a normal bowl and you cover it with a towel or something, which kind of works, but this is a lot cleaner and it works a lot better in my opinion. So there's the meat. And here is my lid. And see, look at it, just nestles on there so great. So I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to take out some of this oil. This is a lot of grease in this pan now. I don't want to scrape it dry because you do want some of that flavor to sit in there. That is hot oil, so be careful. It's still sizzling. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter to the pan now. I'm going to lower my heat just a bit because we're kind of popping here. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I have measured out 3½ cups of chicken broth, but I've set aside 1/2 cup. So 3½ cups total, and you set aside 1/2 cup. I'm going to add to this hot pan now my red potatoes. This is about 14 small to medium red potatoes that I have cut up into cubes. The recipe said to quarter the potatoes, but I think this cooks a little quicker, so I cut them up even further than that. Keep in mind, I am cooking for anywhere from 4 to 8 servings because I feed at least 4 people and sometimes 6, and I do like leftovers. So if you need to cut this recipe in half, you can very easily do that. To this pan, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, four teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, I always add just another dash or 2 of that because I love that flavor. ¼ or 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4, well, 1/8 to 1/4 black pepper, teaspoons. Then you're going to add in your chicken broth. Ah, the silence. You're going to stir this up really well. Get all that mustard evenly distributed. And you know what? I love cooking because I can add a little bit more of this or that if I like it. It's all up to my taste preference. So if I don't feel like I put enough Dijon mustard, I'll add a little bit more. If I don't feel like I put enough Worcestershire sauce or salt, any of that, I will just add a little bit more. It's all up to you. So now what you're going to do with this is you're going to let this come to a boil. So you're going to up your heat. So as soon as this mixture with the potatoes and all that wonderful yummy broth comes to a boil, you're going to want to cover it and let it simmer for 15 to 17 minutes. You can let it cook a little bit longer if you want your potatoes to be more tender, or if you want them a little more crisp, you can let it go at the 15 minutes. I prefer a little bit longer so that it's nice and soft and melt in the mouth. Ooh, it's boiling! And they say a watched pot never boils. Wow. Alright, stir this just a bit. Try to push down as much of the potatoes so that more of the broth will be covering them, or so that they'll be covered more by the broth. Push them down as much as you can. And now we cover. I'm going to get some vegetables prepped here. So for my vegetables this meal, I am going very, very green, very fresh. My grocery store had asparagus for $1.48 a pound, which is pretty good for our area, so I got multiple bunches of asparagus, and I'm adding in some baby carrots as well. Okay, we're looking pretty good now. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to add my pork back into my boiling pot. And give that a little stir. And then I'm going to add in, this is 2 cups of fresh sliced mushrooms. You can see the mushrooms in there. And 1 cup of sliced green onions or scallions. Now again, if you're going to make half this amount, it's 1 cup of mushroom, half a cup of the green onion. And we're going to give that a good stir now. This is one of the rare exceptions when I will eat mushrooms. I am not a mushroom fan. I think the whole fungus idea kind of creeps me out. But this is such a good recipe and it's so comforting. I don't know what on earth I could replace the mushrooms with that would give the same kind of texture or softness to the bite. I don't know what I could add. So this is one of my rare exceptions that I will eat mushrooms. Get off of there. Now I'm going to cover this again and let this simmer for another 5 minutes. And I'm going to turn my vegetables off because they're done and I don't want them to overcook. So the last thing we're going to do before we stir it up and get it ready for plating is we're going to take the reserved broth that I put away, which is half a cup, and we're going to add 4 tablespoons of flour, and I've added gluten-free flour, of course. This is the one step that could make it either gluten-free or not gluten-free, so keep that in mind. So we're just going to give that a good mix and have that ready to add. And make sure you don't burn your knuckles like I just did. Alright, let's check this puppy out. Although this is pork, let me be clear. Alright, that looks really good. Alright, now we're going to add our broth with the flour in it, and this is going to thicken up this sauce really well. And of course, I thought I whisked that really good, but... So we mix this up and we're going to let it sit for about 2 minutes to thicken on the heat, but we only have it on a medium heat at this point. It's not going to literally be like boiling out of the pan. So, but it's already thickening. You see that? Oh yeah, we are getting so close to done. So anyway, this is just about ready to plate, you guys. I'm so happy that you came to visit me today again at the Stitching Cafe, and I really hope you enjoy this recipe. If you try it, I hope you'll let me know. Let me know what your family thought of it. There is a little bubble, I guess. I'm going to go plate this up, and I'm going to show you the finished product. But thank you again for visiting me, and if you leave comments, just say hi. I love to hear from you. Until next time, bon appetit and enjoy.